Today is Thursday, Parashat Behaalotecha. Every morning we have a class here at the synagogue before Shachrit. Currently we're learning the book of Mishlei, and there is so much wisdom in this book that Shlomo HaMelech wrote. I'll share with you today some of the psukim that we learned this morning. We're right now currently in chapter Yutet 19 and this pasuk Yud Aleph. Sechel Adam he'erich apo v'tif'arto avor al pasha. Sechel Adam, the wisdom of a person, the understanding of a person, he'erich apo, will bring a person to be tolerant, patient, not to get angry. That shows actually a person who has understanding and wisdom. V'tif'arto, and the glory of a person. Avor al pasha, when a person is forgiving, that shows that he's a glorious person. The glory of a person is not to be strict with everyone, but rather to be willing to forgive others. And the idea of being wise and having understanding also will bring a person to be ma'arich af, not to get angry, but rather to be tolerant and patient. Another pasuk we learn, Bait vahon nahalat avot, ume'adonai isha maskalet. It says here, Bait, a real estate, a house, vahon, a wealth, nahalat avot, that could be as an inheritance from the fathers, from your parents can leave you an inheritance. However, me'Hashem, from God, comes isha maskelet, come a wife that is maskelet, that is a good wife, that is a wife with understanding, a wise wife, not only a gift from Hashem, that a parents cannot leave you that as inheritance. And this is what the HaKadosh Baruch Hu mezavek zivugim, that comes from Hashem, and it's not something that could be like wealth, that could be as an inheritance. Another pasuk here, Malve Adonai Honendal Ugmulo Yeshalem Lo. Means that a person who's Honendal, who's compassionate with a poor person, he gives him a loan or he gives him tzedakah, is Malve Hashem, as if he had given a loan to Hashem. So you give charity, it's like giving a loan to Hashem in the sense that Ugmulo Yeshalem Lo. What is Ugmulo Yeshalem Lo? As she explains, כשיחלה ויתה למות צדקתו מליצה עליו לפני מידת הדין לומר, העני הזה הייתה נפשו מפרכסת לצאת ברעה, וזה פרנסו והחזירו לגופו, אף אני אחזיר לו נפשו. Which means, Rashi explains that when a person helps a poor man who maybe was so hungry that he could have died, and you helped him, you lifted him up. So when it's like giving a loan to Hashem, and when that person who gave the tzedakah is in trouble, then Hashem will save him, midah keneged midah, measure for measure, just like he took care of a person in need, and he uplifted him, or granted him life through feeding him, or whatever. Also Hashem will pay back in kind to a person in need because of the chesed that he did with the poor man. So any chesed that you're doing with anyone, it's like giving into a special account with Hashem, that mitzvah can come in return to heal you, to save you, and to do good for you. Another pasuk that we learn, Yaser bincha ki yesh tikva, ve'el hamito al tisa nafshecha. So it says, here, discipline your son, because there is hope. When you discipline him, there's hope that he'll go in the right path. However, don't discipline him so harshly that you might kill him. He says, El Hamito, but don't be overly strict and overly disciplining, in a sense that if you have to punish him, it shouldn't be punished to the extent that you might kill him, but just do it with a measure. So many psukim here that we learned this morning with so much wisdom here. He says here, Shema etza v'kabel musar למען תחכם באחריתך. So he says here, listen to advice. Sometimes you don't know how to deal with a certain situation. So listen to advice of others. Kabel Musa, and be willing to accept reproach or somebody corrects you. Why? Lema'an tehkam Behaalotecha. Because if you're willing to listen to advice and listen even to somebody who reproaches you, so that you'll be wiser ultimately at the end. There will be benefit from it. And one other pasuk will explain here, Rabot mahashavot belev ish va'atzat Adonai hi takum. Pasuk means that there are many thoughts in the mind of a person, many plans that a person can have. But ultimately, Atzat Hashem itakum, what Hashem means or intends for the thing to happen is what will happen. So though you could make plans, but ultimately it's Hashem that makes it possible and that would allow those plans to be fulfilled or not fulfilled. Because after all, it's all mishamayim, and you're okay to make plans, but realize that if for any plan to be fulfilled, it has to be ultimately also approved by the will of Hashem. And sometimes you could plan to go one way and you end up going to the other way, because Atzat Hashem is what will prevail. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.